All right, so here I go with today's back attack, hoping for the best. I like to start with the session's front page, the one you see in front of you right now. But it does sort of bother me slightly because I know that the trolls and the well, whatever they are going to say, see those big red numbers there? See that? That's proof that this strategy doesn't work. This strategy. And of course, it's not, because what happens each time I get to this kind of point is that I gag, I get up and go to blackjack where there's a much higher table limit, and boom. Sometimes it takes a bit longer than others, but mostly bang, and I turn around at the high roller table. And yeah, it could be that one day in the future that's not going to happen as quickly as I would like. But you know what? We have resources behind us, so we can handle it. Anyway, let's get off to business. I think I did the new shoe. I must confess I am getting just a little bit forgetful, but I think part of it is that all of these sessions do get a bit confusing after a while. They all tend to blend one into the other. So I'm going to put it down to the complexity of what I'm doing and not the slow disintegration of my grey matter. Double for the loss. Repeat. Double for the tie. Bugger. All right, so that's going to be 2-3, I think. 5-6 in the cloud already? Damn it. That wasn't in the plan. 11-6 over to the banker. All right. 8-10 for the commission. And there it is. That's Alexa reminding me it's beer time. Like I don't know. I've got a clock right up there. Yeah. It's like my family in Brighton in England. They were all heavy drinkers, and they always used to say, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere or other. And they'd whip the tops off their beer and then open the gin, and off they would go. My God, they had a capacity for alcohol that was unbelievable. My cousin, who was, absolutely lovely, about 15, 20 years older than me, she was a wonderful cook, but she would not cook dinner until she'd had enough to drink. And that meant that sometimes we didn't get, and this is me as a kid, didn't get dinner until 10 o'clock at night. She'd always say, well, I just don't enjoy my drink. Should I have been on banker there? I think I should, actually. Oh, hell, I'm completely confused. I'll take that. God, lots of ties this time. All right, that's 3-5, and we'll be running away from the bank if we lose. Oh, we're not running away from the bank. Okay. Yeah, the pro losers like to look at the gizmo up there, the big video display. Say, okay, well, yeah, you see what's happening, and what's coming next is, and there's a good bit, but you got to read the patterns. Well, they're right about reading the patterns, but you don't actually read them. You just play along with them. And so what you try to do is to get into the groove. I seem to have done something seriously wrong here. Look at this. That shoe balance is definitely not right. So I think we got to go 1-2 on player because I've fucked up. All right, I think that's right now. Sorry about that. It's just thinking about the beer, and I just got completely distracted. All right, 2-3, 1-2-3. There it is. Knew it was coming, of course. Like hell. 1-2. Back to the min. Yeah, with that big bet that I just placed on player, I mean, that might seem like a fail Mary to you, but it wasn't. It was simply that I looked at the shoe balance and realized, oops, I've done something daft. And you've got to be ready to adapt in that situation. If you're tracking your down and you're out all the time, and then you find, wait a minute, the chip stack ain't growing the way it's supposed to, then you've got to put a fix in. You've got to adjust it. You've got to calibrate differently until you get back on track. Because basically, you need to know that you're making about 2,500 per shoe. Obviously, if you're playing baccarat, it's about 2,500 per shoe at blackjack too, if you're doing it right. That looks like, oh no, it's 1-2, isn't it? 3-4. There we are. Minimum. Dropping back to the minimum is just so important. That's 1-2 again. Leave it alone. 3-4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not interested really in any kind of process that requires some element of prediction. That's not what we're about. What we're about is trying to just sort of like keep bobbing around, bumping around, and increasing the bets and so on until we mesh with the pattern, correctly. We're not predicting anything. We're just sort of saying we want to have as much money out as we can without going completely bonkers. So that a win, if it happens, and remember, every single bet is more likely to lose than to win. You have to keep that in mind at all times. But if it goes our way, then it will have maximum benefit, taking us towards the target. That's really what it's about. What the hell was that? That was a repeat, so we're back to the men. Okay. See, this is what I like about this particular sim. It just enables me to refresh my memory. Not because I'm getting soggy grey matter, which I may be, but not because of that, but simply because I'm trying to sort of walk and chew gum here, or I should say talk and chew gum. And every so often I slip up. 51. 2, 3. 5, 6. Just right. Oh, double for the loss. Thought I had that one. 1, 2. Now I got it. 1, 2 again. 3, 4. Oops, 3, 5. Sorry about that. And then that's something else that can happen. You put an extra chip out, you get a color in the mix that you didn't mean to be there. Usually the dealer will point that out. Actually, if you, for instance, if you put out a pile of hundreds, and in the middle of the pile of hundreds there's a 500, the dealer will usually tell you before dealing the cards, did you mean to do that? And then the dealer will very patiently separate the wheat from the chaff, and pile everything up in the correct order. They're a good bunch of people, those dealers. They really are. +1. Double for the tie, and we only do that if the bet is 100 or less. All right, we're happy with that. There we go, plus max. Do it again. I'll keep this up. Well, okay, we're back to the minimum now because we got 2. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Don't drink. Don't be tired. Don't be pissed off. Don't be hungry. Don't be busting for a leak. Only play when you're at tip-top condition, physically, mentally, and financially. What do I do then? That's 51 then, isn't it? 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6. Long grass. Easy. $51. Repeat. 1, 2. Bugger. 3, 4. 7, 8. What's going on here? Right at the end of the shoe. 15, 8. Going to banker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, well, now we can go 15, 17. Because after a tie, we don't do anything unless we can take a bet from a basic sort of like mid-recovery bet into something better, like we did just then. So that's a good thing. All right, now minimum on the bank. Repeat. 1, 3 for commish. Try again. No, we don't get to try again. All right, so the 1, 3 moves to player because I will never start a new shoe with a bet on banker. I hate banker. I don't like the commission, and I don't like the commission substitutes. Where they'll tell you it's a no commission game, but they rip you off in a different way, which is actually worse. But they never give anything away at the casinos, I mean, that's the point. 1, 2, 3 is the bet. Okay, 4 or 5. There we go. Double for the loss. Try again. No, repeat. Minimum. +1. For the last one. Plus another one. Plus max. Chase it. All right, now we're on 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 15, 8. Running to the banker. Oh, we're back there again, aren't we? 15, so it's going to be 15, 17 again. God, it's awful. All right, so we're on 35.40 and we're going to dump this shoe. So 3.5, 4. So the bet is 4,000 on player on the new shoe. $4,000 on player from the get-go. Well, that made life a bit better, didn't it? Back to the men. +1. +1. Double for the tie. 2, 3. 5, 6. 11, 6 going to the banker. Well, guess what? It's 11, 13 now, isn't it? Okay. 12, 25.30 on the bank, and then we'll run away. All right, so 55.60. We run away from this. Now we're in the long grass. Run away from this one. And the saving shoe is 5.6 on player. Never start a new shoe with a bet on banker unless you're Vegas, Matt, and you can't help yourself. Uh-oh, 11, 12. Don't tell me I'm going to blackjack again. Maybe I am. 23, 25, and then I'm running away. Oh! Okay. Now then, I'm going to try something a bit different here. I'm going to go for 50 on the bank. Haven't done this in a while. It's a bit mad. But you got to go mad once in a while, you know? Aha! All right, now we've got a big commission bill to get back here. So we're going to do, normally I don't allow that. Normally I work the commission into the turnaround bet, but that's not happening this time. So we are going to place a bet of 3,000 on the bank. All right, now we're going to go to player and bet 2, 3, 5, 6. Hate ties. All right. So that worked nicely. And I think what I'm going to do now is I will play to 20. And then because it's beer time and I don't want to miss the 6 o'clock news, there might be wonderful news about Trump, like he's fallen into a deep hole in China, never to be recovered. 1, 2, 3. You know, and I get some Americans who say to me, well, you really shouldn't insult our president because, you know, I mean, it's a very high office. It's an office that deserves respect. And I'll say, sorry, guys, this guy blew all that before he even got into office. I think that's another plus, isn't it? And then plus max. Do it again. Chase it. There it is. Back to the min. Double for the loss. Yeah, if if the president of the United States didn't affect the rest of the world, that would be fine. You know, you could really wallow in your own mess like the hippopotami in the song. But when the president of the United States is a moron, it hurts everybody worldwide. And it's a pity that Americans didn't think about that before they put him in the White House. Oh, gold. 1, 2. Have we got to 20 yet? No, back to the minimum. Plus 1. Plus 1. 1, 2. As soon as I turn around, I'm gone. There it is. Okay, so we save this one. We made a little bit of money in 20 minutes. 8, 7, 7, 4, 20 mins. What is it? It's the 14th of May, and it's baccarat. Okay, we'll go and have a look at those and see what happened. So that was 26 to 37. So minus 11 there. No, that's wrong. So yes, minus 11. Bloody hell. I saw this 26 and that 26 and got completely befuddled. All right, so minus 11 there. Eight to 6 plus 2, so now we're at minus 9. Three wins, 5 losses, minus 2, so that's minus 11 again. Uh, 13 winners, 7 losses, so that's plus 6. So we're minus 5 on the session, and I love that. That's what I need, to demonstrate to you doubters out there, you non-believers, disbelievers, the misinformed, the disinformed, and so on, that yes, you can make money even when you lose more bets than you win. That is the name of my game, anyway. Oh, bugger. Sorry, my backup mic is giving me a hard time. All right, then. So I consider that to be another useful demonstration. I hope you do too. And I will add the Excel update in a bit. All right, so I'm slipping a little bit behind with these baccarat sessions. I played this one out on Thursday, and horrors. Usually I get them up in a couple of days, but I shouldn't feel bad because a lot of these pro losers putting up their sessions, some of them are weeks old, even months old, and I suspect in at least one case years old. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference, let's face it. I mean, the most important thing is, showing you the cumulative effect of the shoes that are building up. I mean, we're now in this worksheet 461 shoes, and on baccarat alone we're showing a winning percentage of 4.2, and the house edge against us is minus 1.02%, which I would say and would admit happily is a little bit on the low side. It's about 3/4 of what I would expect. But that's the way it goes. These games go up and down all the time. 4 shoes this time, 50 wins, 55 losses. So I'm chuffed about that because I always like it when I'm able to show you target betting, pattern betting. Let me explain. It was called target betting for years. It was called turnaround for years. The names change, but the strategy itself doesn't, except when obviously it evolves, because that's the kind of like the human imperative, isn't it? We're constantly improving things. We're constantly looking for ways to make things better. And I think that that's the best possible approach. It is called evolution, isn't it? But no, there have been no drastic changes. The principles are the same as they were 30 years ago when I first went online with this. So I'm happiest when pattern betting demonstrates the ability to overcome negative expectation, as it did here. 4.2% against us, and we came out with a win that was 6.8% of our total action. And that is such a key figure. I think it's something that lots of people don't understand or don't care to even look into or think about. If at the end of the day, you won 1,000 and you had a churn of 200,000, then you're not doing it right. It's really that simple. Because you're looking at what, a 0.5% win over action, and that's no damn use. I'm not wildly happy with 6.8%. I have to say, I'm much happier when it's up around the 10% neighborhood. But I don't control any of these things. I don't determine how things are going to turn out. I don't know what's coming at me from the baccarat sim, and I don't know what's coming at me from the blackjack sim, in spite of what the idiots, the trolls, the the mentally deficient have to say about it, and they're pretty quiet these days, I must say. I haven't had as much shit coming at me as I used to. Either people are getting smarter or they've just kind of given up. Um, but anyway, we are, as I say, 4.2% ahead on baccarat alone. We've had to, I think it's 14 times now. Let's go down to the chart. 14 times we've had to run away to blackjack in order to take advantage of the higher table limit that's available over there, 100,000 instead of 50,000. And yeah, I get it. A lot of you folks out there are going to say, that's way too much money. I can't do that. There's no way. That's the point. All I'm trying to say to as many people as I can reach is that this is not fun and games. The idea that losing money at gambling because you don't know what you're up against and you're not properly equipped to deal with the challenge is not fun. It's stupidity. It's that simple. And casinos are built on stupidity. That's the end of the story, really, isn't it? But anyway, what we're looking at, overall win, all action to date is about 4%, okay? Because action to date has been 14 million and something. Most of it from baccarat. Blackjack, you can see the figures here. Blackjack is running at about about 2/3 of the action for baccarat, and is producing 78% of the win, and that's okay. That's not a problem at all. Let's go down to the current front page. I think I've got it right here. Yeah, this is what we're looking at right up to Thursday, which is the session. The shoes that I just showed you, they're here. I started out with a rollover, and then we gagged and gagged again, and then we got our turnaround, and all smiles, and everything worked exactly the way that it's supposed to work. And there's nothing magical about any of this. It's simple mathematics, and not simple as in simple-minded, just simple as in easy for even an idiot to understand if the idiot will only stop and think for a minute. I mean, that's the essence of everything. I didn't show you the other two shoes in this session, the summaries for them. So let's go and have a look at that. Obviously, these two, there's the rollover one there, where we made 214% average win over average loss. And then the first GAG, we slipped right behind. We were average win over average loss was less than 50%. That's embarrassing. And then the next one, average win over average loss was a little bit better at 127%. And then, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense at all. Oh, that's because there were so many more wins than losses in the last one. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what? The key figure is down here. The four shoes combined, the average win value over average loss value is 126%. And if you can make 120, 125%, you're doing well. The AV against us, minus 4.2%. We turned that into plus 6.8%. And, you got to be happy with that, seriously. And then to do my usual thing, going down to the Nevada numbers. I mean, I always think that it's kind of a sobering moment, is to go back to this every so often and just have a look at it and think, okay, sensibly played blackjack, you're looking at a house edge against you of less than 1%. And yet the casinos win 13% of total churn, total action. Craps, minus 1.41%, but the casinos get 16%. Roulette, well, that's a tricky one, because in Nevada in particular, or mostly across the USA, roulette is 00 roulette, which is an idiot's game. But that's from 2.7 to about 5.3, depending. Minus 5.3% is about the 00 house edge, and 2.62 or something, 2.7%, something like that. and you're looking at what the casinos actually make is 19%. I always say, don't touch Ultimate Texas Hold'em, three card poker. What else have we got? Let It Ride, Pai Gow poker, any of those things. They are rubbish. They are sucker traps. But up to you. You know, you want to waste your money. Hey, have at it. Baccarat, I've said it here I'm showing it here as minus 1.3%. That's a little harsh. It's slightly less than that. But if you look at the big tables, 16% the house win, and the mini bucks 12%. And just think about this, and then ask yourself, why is that? And the answer, quite simply, is greed, stupidity, lack of proper resources going in, lack of understanding that if you don't bet when you are at your best, you won't beat these games, because it takes brains, it takes concentration, and it takes stamina. If you drink alcohol before you play, you're a fool. If you sit down and play these games when you're tired or anxious or busting for a piss or any of those things, you're an idiot. And that's how it is. So, take it or leave it, believe it or not. But I just keep on updating these things and giving you honest, accurate, verifiable information. And still, most people are just not interested. And I get the sort of the frustration that people feel, because they think, well, clearly these games can't be beaten, or the casinos wouldn't offer them. But they have to be beatable, because otherwise nobody would play them. You know, in the long term, if you bet flat or if you bet randomly, these games cannot be beaten. If you bet progressively, but not just bet progressively, but with a plan, a consistent plan, a plan that you believe in, then you can beat them. It's just logic, it's just arithmetic, but hey, like I always say, take it or leave it, believe it or not.